What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Rimworld. Hope you're having a good Thursday night. Tell you, man, Friday couldn't have come quicker. It's been kind of one of those weeks. I'm trying to think if there's anything worth mentioning before we get into this. Can't really think of anything. I mean, yeah, there's just not really a whole lot going on. I mean, there's there's always stuff going on with politics, right? Been watching the Trump rallies today, and he had one rally in Arizona, and he's going to be speaking here before too long in Las Vegas at one of the Turning Point Action events. So that's been going on. We're getting some pretty awesome weather up here in Indiana. Been, I think today it was around mid to upper 70s. And definitely fall weather, man. The leaves are turning and they're all beginning to fall down on the grass and everything, so that's kind of cool. In my opinion, fall weather is always the best for coffee. Anyway, let's dig into it, man. So, I don't know how long this episode will be. It'll probably be another short one. Usually I leave the long ones for the weekend. Hold on a second, I've got to sneeze. Oh, man. I just had dinner, and I'm kind of thinking that maybe some pepper got to me or something. Spices or something. Anyway, yeah, I don't know how long this episode's going to be. It's probably going to be maybe an hour, something like that. But I'm just going to keep going on with this wall stuff and just kind of go from there, I guess, you know. Now, if you weren't here during the last few episodes, we've had a couple childbirths. We wound up with Kayloon, who was dropped in from a transport pod. Besides some of that kind of stuff, we're working on this plasteel wall. That's going to be the last wall from my circular facility here. And the general intention here is that we're going to wind up having this one last wall here. And on the outside, we're going to put at least a couple rows of these uranium slug turrets on the outside like that. And once I complete those, it's going to be at that point that I'm going to start probably summoning some of those ancient machine things to get some of the parts from that I need to make those toxic disposal unit buildings. Ooh, hello. Let's see if there's anything else. Ooh, we got some horsies. One, two. Okay. All right. Now it kind of sucks because of this. I can't build these damn things on those structures, which drives me nuts, man. I hate that. And I've tried before to use moisture thingamajiggers. You know what I'm talking about? Those things that suck up the moisture. I tried to lay those down, thinking that maybe there might be a chance that I could dry the riverbed up, but that didn't even come close to working. So we're just gonna have to kind of live with this, unfortunately. Looks like I'm gonna have to put some moisture things down here too. Let me see here. Those. I can never remember where those go. Irritates the hell out of me. Can't even do that? Jeez. What is a kid supposed to do? Well, Greg, do is we'll see here. Do that because it looks like they had enough strength or enough. Looks like they were close enough to be able to connect to that conduit. Okay. Let's get rid of that. Just wait on that. Okay. Kind of work with that for now. This is going to take a while to complete, man. I'll admit that they got done with this really quick, but I think that's because of all of the plasteel that we probably, excuse me, probably already had on hand. I need a cough. Hold on a second. Man, my sinuses have been kicking my ass this month and last month. I don't know if it's got something to do with the air or there's just a bunch of shit floating around in the air or something, but the air as in like because it's been a really dry summer slash fall, and I know that that's got to be working on them a little bit. Because this month and last month, man, it's like I've had constant congestion in my head. And sometimes whenever you got congestion, it can like, not to get too gross or personal here, but sometimes it can like, go into your throat and stuff, and kind of makes you have to clear your throat and all this. And it's just been kind of like a never-ending saga of that for me for the past couple months. But like I said, up here in Indiana, man, it's been really dry. And plus, too, right now, especially, it's combine season, if you will. You get all the combines and stuff out, and they're out there in the fields getting the corn and stuff, and that means there's a bunch of shit floating around in the air. So that's kind of a pain in the ass. Plus, too, it gets the car dirty, which I can't stand. I think. Let me see here. Whoa! The hell? Jesus. That came out of nowhere. That actually kind of scared the hell out of me. That doesn't happen every day. Where was it? It was right there. Okay. Anyway. Let me see here. Let's do this. Let's build. Put that right there. What we'll do is we'll deconstruct that. Copy. I guess we can put it right there. Deconstruct that. Copy. Here. Deconstruct that. See here. Deconstruct that. In fact, I don't know why I'm doing it like I am, but it's just, I guess, my own neurotic behavior. This. Screw it, let's make a couple. Actually, let's do this. Basically, what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get this stuff over here dry enough to the point where I can continue the wall, because I'm gonna have to put 9 down, and then I think it's like nine more on one block over here, I think, if I remember right. I think that's 9. Here we go again. You know, I never did get a male thrumbo. Keep hoping one of these days I might be able to find one of those, but I never seem to get one. What should we do with this? Screw this right there. So we're basically putting it at the end of each of those. There, put this one here. Let's just take care of those lights right up here too. There we go. Crap. Got these things recorded. And we need to make them right there. Crap. What should we do with these? What should we do with those? trying to think if there's a certain way that we should link those. So just do it like this. Looking up there. Okay, there's still looks like there's still plenty of steel to put on the shelves and stuff, so pretty sure we'll be able to use this. Pretty sure I clicked on there's that. It's all linked. Link. Now link. There we go. Okay. Psychic suit. Looks like Clara needs a bedroom. Realize that. Let's put her right here. Clara, there you are. And I think I need to do something here. Let's put cooking detail. In here. Not too happy about. I don't understand why that's 5 degrees. Be 5 degrees. Down a few. See, in here is 4 degrees. I wonder if it's because of the sides of the room. Because if that's the case, maybe we should put another couple of these units on the wall somewhere. Let's think that over. Mr. Rhino. Bond. Now, since I just started this game, expect a conduit explosion at some point. Either that or some other kind of catastrophe. To be quite honest with you, I'm somewhat surprised it hasn't happened yet. Hey, by the way, I think it's time to go ahead and put the animals out here. was... well... Another social fight. I have to remember how this is Fleming stuff. Uh-oh. Matthews and Kenzo. Really? Matthews and Kenzo. Okay, cool. Guess we can get rid of this. Need some jade, man. Jade. Steel. That's steel. Why isn't that powered? Oh, it's because it's connected. What am I thinking? Solar. Excuse me. Solar panel. That's why. It's kind of irritating, but okay, whatever. Now, I know I had some jade around here somewhere, but I can't remember where it was. There it is. I have to remember that. Well, we're beginning to bounce. Well, we were beginning to bounce back with the components, but now I'm seeing that we only have about 3 of them. Seems like we could never get ahead of the component stuff. It's so frustrating. Looks like it's doing good. thinks these. Selecting everything that I need to select here. Select all link, link, link. And now he goes, gosh darn it. Little asshole. Alright, there. I guess it's not a big deal. Select all link. Let's do a save. Alright, there we go. Okay, that does it. Make some more of these. One right there. We're here. Blocks. That's what I was trying to think of. See? Called it. I knew I knew it was gonna happen, man. I just knew it. Man. Okay. How can I go about doing this? Let me see here. Firefly shells. Okay, Gabs. Think might be needed here. Trying to think about how I go about doing this. Ski. Shells over there. The thing that bothers me most about this kind of shit is the fact that I've got to go through now and reassign the zones that I thought I had for everyone after I get done doing all this stupid crap. Just kind of gets everything screwed up, you know. In fact, let's just do this. Just over here. Let's make every little person restricted. So I just knew that shit was gonna happen. I'm telling you, there's something weird in the game's logic that says that once the player loads up the game, blows something up. The good news is that it's raining, so I'm thinking that that'll help deal with some of this. What we got here? one thing I want to do here, save it first. I want to try to get Gabs to shoot one of those fire foam shells. Because I want to see if that works the way that I think it does. Come on, sweetheart. Wait. Is there no nearby? What are you talking about? There's... So does that mean then that I can't use those stupid fire foam shells in this thing? I guess that means that those are used for the other stuff, the poppers and the... Damn it. Okay, well, we'll have to fix that at some point. God, stupid shit. Let's focus. I don't know enough about this shit. Succeeding your heat limit may cause a psychic breakdown. Nasty days, it won't cause damage. You know, at one point I had thought that I taught them the whole water skip thing. Inspiration. If I did, I don't know what happened to it. Because I'm not seeing it on their thing, you know. Their menu stuff down here. I wish I understood more of this crap. Guess there's nothing in here. Well, just gonna have to muscle through it, I guess. Kind of looked out with that rain, man. Okay, let's change this. I was thinking, see, the reason I did that is because I was thinking that maybe I could use fire foam shells in those mortars and just, you know, shoot one of those things at a fire whenever it broke out. But I guess that doesn't work that way. Well, now, hold on a second here. It says mortar shells. So why wouldn't that work? Damn it, that pisses me off because that's pretty damn misleading if that's not the case. I'm going to have to test that out. Whenever everyone wakes up, I'm going to get Gabs or somebody to man one of those things again and see if I can get them to work. Because look, there's fire foam shells right there. Obviously, here's a mortar. Oh... Well, there you go. I didn't realize that you had to designate what shells to use. Damn it. Pisses me off. Why would it... I don't understand what the virtue is of providing that as something that you have to configure for these things. Isn't it just kind of given that you want to be able to use those? This fucking game, I swear to God. And of course I can't... Jeez. Pain in the rear, man. Okay, there's one. There's another. To go through and screw around with this for every single one. And it just happens to be that the fire foam shell is the only one out of all the, well, besides the anti-grin warhead that I have to configure. Isn't that just cute? Save that. Yeah, we kind of looked out, man. That could have been much worse. That was a pretty good fire. Thankfully, because of that rain. What is that? Got down here too. I hate it when they do this. I'm sure there's a way to prevent it. Okay. Well, the good news is that they're definitely dropping the animals and stuff off in here. Bad news though is that I'm just not sure if they're using the stuff out here enough. I mean, I guess they are. God knows we've got plenty of food. I've got to get everybody now reassigned back. Gabbs, Cream, Newton, Deep Drill. Espinoza. Is that Shop? Espinoza. So Revka is. That's what I'll put. Right. Is that right? Yeah. Okay. So there's that. Pepper, ag. Fact. Well, Hoffman is cooking. I think. Let's see here. See, this is the reason I hate this shit behind. Hoffman's cooking. But what else? Sam? Can't remember. Yeah, looks like some. Okay, good. Yeah, good. So that's cooking. Halo. I think I left him unrestricted. Nip, though. I think just about everyone else after that is ag. Except Olga, or Oski, and shit, who else? Let's see, here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna put everyone on. Except the bottom two there, they're unrestricted. I know Oski is smelting. Oski, where are you? Vic, and Tiffy. Vic, Tiffy. That way they're all just kind of in line. Go to your schedule. Ski, Vic, and Tiffy. There we go. Okay. Not too shabby. How do you guys do that? Where's he? Damn components, man. Let's see, where is everyone? Okay, he's making components. He's watching TV. What's he doing? What's he doing? Glad they're hauling, man. I was wondering if they're doing that or not. Good, they're butchering too. Good deal. Problem though is that it's beginning to warm up in here. I don't like that. Need components, man. have an insane amount of steel. hate it when they do that. Okay, so this one's set to -8. This one and this one. Wait, wait. Oh my god, they're butchering, aren't they? Let's definitely put him on shooting. Construction. And... Sure. No. Well, fuck, I don't know, man. Industrious kind, yeah. Do that. Yes. Okay. Do a little save skipping. One thing I really love about this game is that it sometimes takes my mind off of things, you know? Not all the time, because sometimes, man, I'll wake up and I'll tell myself in my head that I want to play this game, but I'm so anxious over stuff or angry or whatever, you know, like with me, for example, I have a hard time sometimes decoupling my brain from stuff that goes on at work. And so most of the time, whenever I come home, it's really kind of hard to get over that hump enough to be able to play this game. But usually what I find in the past, at least, is that sometimes if I can do that, then playing this game helps out with that. Not all the time, though, man. Sometimes it's just... sometimes the week is just so damn bad that even, like, on a Saturday or a Sunday, when you wake up wanting to do stuff like that, you just can't do it, man. You're just so pissed off and, I don't know, depressed or something. Part of that's just the job, you know. Sometimes you just got to find a new job, and I'm honestly, man, I'm looking for a different job somewhere else because I love my job for the most part, but I think things are kind of getting worse where I work. There's just stupid stuff that's going on, and it's got some pretty fucking stupid leaders that are running the show, and whenever you critique anything that they do, they take it as an offense and err on the side of firing people instead of actually trying to improve how they operate. They're arrogant, you know, they know everything, they don't ever want to listen to anybody else, and they cherry pick favorites. And, like, for example, there's like one clique over there that's allowed to work remotely. Everyone else is forced to come in to work. I mean, it's just it's all a big clusterfuck, man. We need to have our house cleaned. We need to, like, get rid of some key people, and unfortunately for all of us over there, that shit just hasn't happened yet. I don't think it's ever going to. The good news, though, is that some of those assholes are going to wind up retiring before too long. I mean, it's still a few years out, but in the bigger scheme of things, if they ever do retire, that place will, in many ways, it'll get better. Now, the people that I'm talking about here are senior people, so I mean, there's going to be a lot of institutional knowledge that'll leave whenever they do leave. But personally, I feel like that's a risk that I'm willing to take because some of the shit that I'm seeing take place over there is just nuts. It's just really stupid stuff, you know. Whenever it happens, you go home and you grind your teeth. It's hard to not think about it sometimes. So what I try to do is I either try to keep myself busy with stuff like this stupid little game here, or just try to write it out and you know, keep my eyes open for other jobs elsewhere. And in the meantime, just try to muscle through it as much as I can. So I think I think for the most part, time is on my side with everything. You know, I don't really feel like my job's going to be lost or anything like that. It's just whether or not I want to suffer through dealing with dickheads. That's, that's really all it boils down to. And I know that I'm sitting here bitching about having a job when there's a lot of people out there that are unemployed or struggling and stuff. So I don't really feel very good about myself for bitching about work and stuff when I know that I have a job that pays enough money for me to kind of live generally a contentful life. Now there's stuff around my house, and anybody who knows me personally knows that I bitch and complain all the time about my vehicles because I've got a car and a truck, and you might think to yourself, wow, he's got two vehicles, and yes, they are paid off. But the thing is that both the vehicles are pushing 20 years of age. It's a I've got a 2006 Chevy Colorado and a little two-seat convertible Saturn Sky. And don't get me wrong, man, both vehicles, I think for the most part they're okay, but they've got some issues here and there that if you're a seasoned mechanic, or at least anybody who has some level of experience with knowing what noises are somewhat troubling and stuff, you can go out there sometimes, listen to the truck, and I think it's got lifter tick, and that sometimes that's not really a troubling thing, but for me and my spidey sense, man, it's definitely not comforting, and it's also got this weird startup issue where it acts sometimes like it's having a hard time turning over, or I mean it turns over, but whenever it goes through the initial RPM cycle, it winds up struggling and acting like it's wanting to stall almost, and it'll do that for a few seconds, and then after that, it's perfectly fine. And it seems to only do that whenever it's like sat for a long time, or whenever it's cold. And I've brought it over to numerous mechanics to have it looked at, and none of them have been able to fix it. And I think it's got something to do with the remanufactured engine that I installed in there a couple years ago. It's like something really deep internal or something, I think. But whenever it's not doing that shit, though, I mean, she runs like a sewing machine, and the Saturn Sky, I mean, she runs perfectly fine too. But it's like those cars have been paid off for a long time, or those vehicles have been paid off for a long time, and they're getting pretty old, in terms of like vehicle years. And with the way the world's changing and stuff, it's gonna get harder and harder to find parts for them whenever shit does finally go south with one of them or both of them. And so, I mean, that stuff is always on my mind. I'm always worried about my old house and the stuff that's going on with it, because the house, it's like a 1920s era house out in the middle of the Midwest, and it was built with it was built on top of a foundation using block material called vitrified clay tile or clay block, and it's essentially just nothing more than ceramic blocks. And the bad thing about these blocks is that they've got horizontal voids instead of vertical voids. So whenever water finds a way to get into those voids, it's easier to travel around the basement for the walls that still have that stuff. Because a few years ago, I wound up replacing two entire sides of my basement with normal CMUs, or concrete blocks. The more standard up to code blocks, and that cost about 40 grand to do after everything was said and done. But I still have a few walls down there that are built with those vitrified clay blocks, and I'm not really worried about those walls for the most part, because none of them are really bowing or anything like the old walls were that I had replaced. But I mean, it's just stuff like that. You sit around all day sometimes thinking about stuff like that when you're a single dude like I am, and so you try to find ways to kind of keep your mind occupied with things. But man, sometimes it just doesn't work out. Sometimes you well, with me personally, I normally give in to it, and the weekends can sometimes be the worst because you wake up to that shit. You're not only thinking about work and grinding your teeth over asshole bosses and shit that cherry pick favorites, but then you wake up on a Saturday or a Sunday and you're sitting there thinking about that kind of stuff, worrying about whether or not the vehicles are going to start up or okay, or whether any of them are going to register misfires that'll trip a check engine light and all this effing stuff, man. It's like you got to find ways to kind of push past that stuff the older you get. And so with me, I mean, I try to do my best and either play some of this stupid game, or I don't know, man, go on a drive, go work out at the gym, or just do whatever I can. Some days are better than the others. Some days are good, some days are bad. It's just kind of the way it goes, I guess. But like I said, the good news with me personally, I've got a job that pays generally good money for the most part, where I am at least in the United States. Because where I live, man, the cost of living is like probably the best in the country. And that's both good and bad. Oh, we got a bear. That's both good and bad because on one hand, it's good to be able to pay for stuff and stretch your dollar out, but on the same hand, too, places that have a good cost of living aren't usually some of the poorest in the country. And where I am up here in Indiana, man, it's definitely one of the poorest. So that part kind of sucks, but I don't know. It's just the way it works, at least right now. One of these days, I'd like to get out of where I'm working, though. Unless things change. I mean, like I said earlier, some of those assholes over there, they're gonna wind up retiring at some point, and there's always the chance that something could change whenever that happens. It could be both good and or bad. So, but if that doesn't happen, or I don't know, man, if I just don't have the patience for it, or something stupid happens to the point to where I just feel like quitting, I guess there's always the option of just saying fuck it and working somewhere else, regardless of where it is. Just gonna have to see. I see. Every time I look at this wall, I wonder to myself, did I make that right? I don't know if my eyes are playing tricks on me or not, but sometimes whenever I look at it, I don't know if it looks like a perfect circle. I think it's because of this right here and some of this. I think it's like throwing my eyes off or something. Looks like they finally got that done. I love these things, but they just take so long to do anything. That's the reason I always make more than just one or two. So, it's going on 10 o'clock. I tell you what, guys, I'm going to pause it right here, and I think I'm going to end the episode now. Where I am right here. I'd like to play some more, but I want to watch some more of that Turning Point event that they've got right now. By the way, if you're ever into that kind of stuff, check out Right Side Broadcasting. They stream all of those kinds of events. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and end it right here. Um, Slow progress, but progress nonetheless. We got the two ACs installed there in our outdoor uh, food store area. Um, it looks like we're beginning to kind of bounce back on the component stuff, so that's good. Um, some new lovers. I guess that's good, right? Because that means at some point somebody's going to wind up making some more colonists for us. So that's always kind of a cool thing. And we got some more animals too. So I mean, it wasn't all for naught or anything like that. Now, whenever I come back though, it's just going to be kind of more of the same thing, man. I'm going to just keep working on that wall as much as I can. I think we're going to be kind of in a waiting game because we've got to let these moisture pumps take care of some of the mud and stuff so that we can continue building on. Because I don't really want to build on yet to the other sides until I have one side as done as possible. I want to try to take this all in one side at a time approach. Um, but we're getting there, man. We are definitely getting there. So anyway, hope you enjoyed this episode. And tomorrow night is Friday. Thank Christ. so, so with it being Friday and all, you can definitely expect a bigger episode sometime tomorrow night. Because I've been having a hankering to play this game some more, and it'll be nice R&R, after a bullshit week working around assholes. Come get to play this game and see some shit blow up. So anyway, all in laughs, right? So okay, gonna do a save. Let's go and save. There we go. And I will see you, quote unquote, tomorrow. Have a good one, and have a good Friday too. Later.